Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Happy Thanksgiving, ninjas. Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast, and happy Thanksgiving. We're so thankful that you're here. And Garrett, I'm thankful for you. And, you know, this is kind of becoming an annual tradition for us since we release podcast episodes on Thursdays. We always line up with Thanksgiving on a release. And I think every year we've done an episode where we just kind of chat about gratitude and share a little thanks.
Yeah, this is turning into a nice little unique tradition for us. Funny, we're four years?
This will be 19, 20, 21. Yeah, the fourth one.
4 years, man. So again, I think it's kind of cool that this one circles back around. It's funny how you don't look at the obvious. I'm like, why doesn't this happen with other holidays? It's like, well, when you have a holiday on Thursday, that pretty much solves that problem.
This is true.
But I'm extremely grateful. I'm grateful for, this incredible group of people. Well, let's start with you, Matt. I'm going to start with you.
Oh, start with me.
I'm starting with you because without you in my world, we probably wouldn't be where we're at right now with this podcast and what this is. And you continue to show up in my world, and I'm grateful for that also. It's not like we had a moment of a great idea and it just kind of we talked about it and we let it go, or we did a couple episodes. And that's what happens with a lot of podcasts is a couple episodes happen and they're like, this is really fun. And then it's like, yeah, and they kind of lose their energy around it.
It fizzles out.
And I'm grateful that we spent enough time up front to find our pattern that we felt was going to work with people. We didn't just wing this thing going into it, even though we just were like, what if we record and what if we did this? That was the very initial baby thoughts of what this is. We spent a lot of time from that moment to actually putting out the first live episode of trying to really figure out what we want this to look like. And here we are, man.
Yeah.
Celebrating 4 Thanksgivings together, doing the podcast. And so starting with you, I want to say how grateful I am to you for being a consistent in my life. Very few times do you have people that are super consistent in your world, and you 100% are a constant for me, which I appreciate.
Well, thank you, man. And I echo that gratitude for you as well. And you mentioned consistency. I think about the consistency we have showing up on our schedule to record these things. It's one of the, as outside of scheduled coaching calls, which obviously happen on the regular, this is just always there. And you're always there, and you wake up early to do this stuff too. And so
really early. Really early.
Really early. And so I'm grateful for you, man, because obviously this wouldn't be what it is without you. So I appreciate you. And I hope that the listeners share that same gratitude as well. But
yeah,
I'm grateful for everybody tuning in, of course. I mean, particularly if you're listening to this on Thanksgiving Day. You had to get away maybe from all the people that you're grateful for and thankful for, but you're like, I just need a little break.
We're happy to be your excuse. I'm just going to go for a drive for a second. I got to go get some milk. I got to get some milk at the store. I'm out of here. Oh, thank goodness, Matt and Garrett. There they are.
People listening to this on Friday are like, what?
What is going on?
So grateful for all the listeners. And I mean, there's so many things that we can share gratitude on too, Garrett. I actually want to share not a gratitude, but something about gratitude, because I've been doing this thing with Luca Alberetti, who runs Actually Agents. So every Tuesday, I go on his Discord and we do a session that has now been called Winning the Morning. And it's all about sharing gratitude. And we read something out of a book, some type of positive thing, and that's all it is. And it's so much fun reading other people's gratitudes. People will post gratitudes in the chat. Sometimes people will actually come up and live share with us their gratitudes and everything. But one thing I've learned about gratitude is it's great to share it and express it yourself. But by doing that, you're also giving other people a great gift of gratitude. And I love seeing what other people are grateful for, because it keeps on, oh yeah, me too. And me too. And all of a sudden it just boosts your energy level up. And so one thing I definitely wanted to just highlight on gratitude in general is if you're looking for it, go find it from someone else too. And know that you're also going to give somebody the gift of gratitude by sharing what you're grateful for.
There's a reason that a lot of times when you get groups of people together and everybody's probably been in a meeting where it's like, let's start off by doing gratitudes. when you get to hear what people are grateful for and you start to realize, one, some of them are really amazing. Like you'll hear a gratitude and you're like, wow, that is really incredible. I think the more powerful ones for me are the ones when people are just like, I am grateful for, and it's something simple in life, but it's something that's important. It's something that you're taking the time to acknowledge the little things that are happening around us. Because so often we can get lost in gratitude trying to find the big stuff. We're always going like, oh, I got nothing to be grateful for right now. And it's like, well, because you're looking for sometimes these like huge monsters of gratitude that you want to share. And it's like, what's the little stuff? Like, let's get into little things here that are really powerful that you can be grateful and thankful for. And so I love that you went down that road, Matt. And going back to our people here, one thing I want to share that I'm grateful for is that and thankful for, we started doing these interviews this year and sharing some people's stories of coaching. And what's been one of the most fun pieces of that process for me is I reached out to all of our coaches and I said, who's got a good story? Who is somebody that they want to share with the rest of the Ninja Nation out here? And to hear the excitement of the coaches as they want to tell me about somebody, like the energy that comes through oh my gosh, okay, here is so-and-so, and they're in this marketplace, and here's where they were, and here's where they are, and this is how we got them there, and here's like in this pouring of energy about this in person they're so proud of and so emotional over. And then to get the chance to talk to that person and hear their story and their same excitement coming through of where they have been to where they're at right now and how they got there and just this how grateful they are. And then to be able to share that with others and hear from all of you about how that impacted you, being able to hear their story. Like that's been my highlight so far of this year. And also what this podcast has allowed us to do to be able to share that. It's interesting the energy that has come around this entire thing. And it really is all of you guys listening, giving us the feedback on this, and then the people that are willing to participate with us. It's just been an incredible journey so far.
Yeah, it really has. And those have been great and so much fun to do. Just hearing from someone who's just out there deploying Ninja in their business. So that's been really awesome. And as you were talking, I was just thinking about other people in the Ninja world who definitely deserves a lot of gratitude. And I was thinking about Sarah, Garrett's wife, and just the amount that she does behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, that our coaches don't. I mean, they know, but like they also don't know, right? And it's just so grateful for everything that she does to keep Ninja coaching going, but she also does a whole lot for Ninja selling too.
Yeah.
In the background that, people will never know that she's touched something. And it just super grateful for her because she makes a lot of things run, which is an amazing thing. So I wanted to make sure that she got she doesn't like acknowledgement. She doesn't like to be put in the spotlight, but she deserves a whole lot of gratitude for sure for everything that she does. So for all of you listening, whether you're dropping a review for the podcast or you're shooting us an email, if you want to share a little gratitude for Sarah, we can definitely make sure it gets to her.
She deserves the gratitude. She deserves the acknowledgement, Matt. So I really appreciate you sharing that. No, she does not like having the spotlight on her in any way, shape, or form. But she's committed. She's been committed for so many years. And a lot of people don't know, I started Ninja coaching with Sarah back in 2005. And she has been the backbone of Ninja coaching ever since 2005. She makes sure everything looks good on the outside. Everything's running smoothly. I'm a little bit of a squirrel. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed this. And I'm surprised that she actually, after all these years, continues to manage and to be okay working with me. We have an incredible relationship, and we've known each other for a very, very, very long time, which I think is why I can't throw her too many curveballs. But man, she could handle it. She could handle a lot of last minute, where a lot of people would just go, I don't even know what to do, and they would freeze. Sarah's one of those ones that in that situation just goes, here's what we're gonna do. And it's like, there's the plan. So, no, I appreciate you pointing out Sarah, man. That's great. Very grateful.
Like our last episode, she's one of those people when life happens, she's just like, all right, come on in. We got this.
This is the plan. That's what we're going to do.
We got this. It's going to be an incredible thing. So, well, Garrett, are there any ideas I mean, we probably shared a lot of these in the episodes from last year and the year before, but we have a lot of new listeners who maybe haven't gone back and listened to those episodes. What are some of your favorite ways that you've heard how people share gratitude or how they've built it into their daily practices?
I'll let you take daily practices. I will say, and I'm going to go back to a good friend of mine. This journey that we've been on, again, much longer than the podcast here, Matt. My favorite is a gentleman named Lee Eckroth, who he did not know I was going to be talking about him today. Lee Eckroth used to be with Town & Country Realty in Corvallis, Oregon. He's retired now, and he is just enjoying the good life with his wife because they built an incredible real estate business and decided to go off and do some other things and explore life. He's raised incredible kids. He has an incredible marriage. He's just an all-around. If anybody's ever met Lee Eckroth, he's just one of those good people in the world. And Lee, many years ago, started an event called the Life is Great Party. And it's all about giving gratitude. It's all about giving thanks. And I'll just point that out right now. I think that one of the things that I watched where his world got very large very quick is he specifically started to focus on giving gratitude to others and the gratitude to the people that are around him, and literally created a party around it. And the whole thing was celebrating how amazing life is and how amazing these people are. And they celebrated the little things. It wasn't a huge over-the-top event. It turned into it kind of being a pretty big one. There was a mechanical bull one year.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, I know. Super fun. He did all kinds of great stuff. But again, I think that that's probably the most purest form I watched come out of Lee was just always this wanting to give back, to be grateful for what he had, to be grateful to be able to help other people around him. And then he just started bringing these people in and just bringing gratitude all around him with all these people. And it's funny, we're not here to talk about business, but it's funny, that's where his business blew up, is when he started pouring gratitude into everybody around him and leaving the business out of it. And so that's what I'd like to share around your question.
Well, I like that. I think it's great. And I think it is important to just mention that, hey, the more gratitude you give, the more you're going to come back. My favorite gratitude quote is from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who says, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. When you're in a state of gratitude, you open yourself up to bringing in all of the good things that are out there that are just waiting to come to you.
Yeah.
I think that's why practicing gratitude on a daily basis, building routines for it, is so important. Whether it is using a journal, I've been using lately the 5-minute journal, which is this awesome little journal where write down 3 gratitudes, a couple other things about the day. It literally takes even less than 5 minutes to do. And there's a little nighttime section too. It changes your energy. Just acknowledging good things in your world, simple things, big things if you can. So that morning practice, I think for me is great. And also just finding the gratitude in all of the little moments throughout the day. Like when I start my car, I'm like, woo, it's a fun little moment for me. I'm like, ooh, grateful for that little sound that comes out the back there.
Especially because mine doesn't always start every time. When it does start, it's like, yeah, here we go, baby.
That's the gratitude, right? So finding those and looking for gratitude when you are in stressful situations too, stuck in traffic, have a tough client, whatever it might be, looking for those moments of gratitude, just tuning yourself to say, hey, how can I always look for gratitude? And that's going to that alone, few minutes is going to change your energy, change the way you feel, which is going to change the way you show up, which is going to change the way things come to you. And so figuring out how you build it into your daily routine, I think is probably one of the most important things that you can do. I was actually talking to somebody the other day. I said, you can tell this person, and they were talking about frustration with this person they're trying to train and get up to speed on all these things. I was like, listen, until they change their mindset, until they, fall into a routine of gratitude, there's not much you can really do because they are blocking all of these things around them with the way that they're thinking and the way that they're acting on those thoughts. The best thing you can do is encourage gratitude or just be grateful around them. If you want somebody to be grateful, just start expressing gratitude towards that person, and that'll help change their energy, hopefully, into a state of gratitude.
We weren't planning on sharing this on this episode, but I'm going to, because anytime my mom tells me, Garrett, you were right, I'm going to run with it.
that's
And
that's gratitude right there.
I'm grateful for that moment right there. But I had and I shared this with the coaches here just the other day, but my mom went into a place of not being in gratitude, being in a place of complete frustration. I think there's something that happens as you might get older, because I'm watching it happen with a couple of our parents in our world right now. But my mom specifically went down a place of a dark hole of youth, and they don't care about the elderly. And my mom's 80, and she's decided that she is definitely of the elder generation. She owns it too. She'll tell you very clearly she is. But it's interesting because she went down a spiral of the opposite of gratitude, just collecting in all these situations every single day of where life wasn't working out for her. And people were doing things. And as far as she was concerned, they were doing things specifically to her, or not being aware of their surroundings, which would then put her in bad situations of maybe being hurt, or, them bumping into her. And, and she would use I'm a little old lady and I'm 80 years old. And like, this is dangerous for all of us out here. And it was interesting as my mom and I got into it, because sometimes I will bite on things and I won't let go. And I had one of these moments that I'd pushed this way too far, Matt. I just kept going with it, to the point that my dad actually said, "I'm bored with this conversation. Can you guys please stop?" Which that's my dad's most subtle way of being like, I'm getting angry and I don't want to get angry. So I'm just going to ask you guys just to stop. And which was where the conversation ended. But my mom had gone down some routes, and I said, I'm going to encourage you to go into these same situations in your life looking for the good. Look for the people that are there that are doing nice things for you. Look for the people that go out of their way to make sure that you're taken care of. And I said, because I think you'll find them. I think the population is full of amazing people out here right now, amazing souls that want to give tremendous amount of support and help to the people that are around them. I'm like, I don't agree with you that the world is as negative as you're making it out to be right now. It's interesting. She called me about a week ago and said, "You're right." She said, "I just changed my thoughts, and I changed what I was going to, as I left the house, I changed what I was going to go looking for that day and who I was going to bump into and what my interaction was going to be with them." And she said, "I'm starting to find different people." And I was like, oh my gosh, like, mark that moment down in time. Like,
Yeah.
You actually called me and told me I was right. Like, that's incredible. But and she told me, I asked her, I said, I'm gonna might share this on a podcast. So I have complete clearance on this one. This was not going to backfire on me. I don't think it will. But I think that, when you put yourself into a state of gratitude, and it's no different than my mom changing the type of people she's going to bump into and talk to as she goes out into the world. When you put yourself into a state of gratitude, we actually start resonating at a different frequency. We start to attract in others that are vibrating at that same frequency. And then what happens is you just start adding in more and more and more people that are around you that are really in a good place. Their minds are in a good spot. They're there to help other people around them. They're there to see the best of what this world is going to be. And it just keeps growing on itself. And this goes back to an affirmation that I've had for years, which is great things happen to me every day. And it's part of my world. It's part of how I start my days. It's part of how I start a lot of my coaching calls. I'll remind myself great things happen to me every day. I'm surrounded by great people. Great moments are always right there. And I love being able to share them with others. And I built that into my world. And that's like a state of gratefulness and thankfulness that I'm really happy. I don't know where that came from at some point. I know I was in a really dark place when I wrote that affirmation, because I was like, I got to change this right now today. I just want to encourage everybody out there, like, bring this into your world, whether it's my affirmation or just gratitudes and thankfulness for everybody around you. And I know we went down a different path, Matt, but I think I am so grateful for this community that we're around, these people that we're around, who we get to surround ourselves with. Ninja attracts in the best of the best people, as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. If you're attracted to Ninja, you're a good person. You have good energy coming with you. And I love it all day long. And I think for me to wrap up this episode, Matt, with my biggest person that I'm grateful for, I think Larry Kendall. I have not told Larry enough how grateful I am for him and my friendship I have with him. I'm very blessed to be able to not just have a working relationship with Larry. It's fun just to call and banter with him. And we don't get to do it enough, but it's so nice when we get to. But all these systems, all this stuff, a lot of it's Larry's ideas, and a lot of it's a very smart guy that has taken the best of the best thoughts that he's come across over many, many, many years and brought them all together into one package. And without Larry, this wouldn't look like what it is today. And so I want to throw a little gratitude and thankfulness that way.
Yeah. Well, man, echo that. Dude, like everything that you just said is so important, particularly the story with your mom, because I know there's a lot of people out there too who might be listening or thinking, yeah, the world's a bad place. All these bad things are happening. Bad things are happening to me. You know, my business isn't doing this and that and the other thing. And it's like, man, if you turn that around, the way you think, the way you express gratitude to open yourself up to finding the good, it's there. It's there.
My mom actually put a red ribbon on her toothbrush to remind herself that there's people in the world that have problems and she can't help them and she just needs to let them have problems. I'm like, this is not okay. I'm like, you cannot go through life like this. That's where my dad said he's done hearing the conversation.
Oh, man. I mean, so I echo all the sentiments you had with Larry, Garrett. That was perfect, that story. I think it's exactly what people need to hear, particularly with everything going on in the world. In real estate, there's a lot of things going on in the real estate industry. A lot of people are looking for the bad in a lot of things. And it's like, let's look for the good. Let's express gratitude. Let's fill ourselves with gratitude. Let's fill that gratitude cup up so damn big that it pours out gratitude on everybody else, so that we can change the energy of ourselves, so we can impact the energy of others, and then have it come back around to us, which is just such a beautiful thing. So, Garrett, again, thank you for being in my world, and thank you for doing this podcast with me. And to the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in year after year after year, sharing it, and just helping us grow this and spread the ninja message, and also just the fun things that Garrett and I love to chat about, that hopefully you guys take into your world and help you in whatever situation you're in.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you tons. And we're going to keep it going. Matt and I like this too much. We like you guys too much. So we'll be back. So thank you. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like more, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com.
There you will also find links for more information about ninja selling and coaching. Have an incredible day.